The weight of the world. It's a phrase that resonates deeply with many of us. We live in a world that puts immense pressure on men. From the moment we're born, expectations are set. We're told to be strong, stoic providers, the pillars of strength for our families and communities. We're supposed to have it all figured out, to have a plan, a direction, a purpose. But the truth is, we're struggling to meet these expectations, to live up to the ideals set before us. We're dealing with the same anxieties, fears, and uncertainties as anyone else. Yet, we often feel we must face them alone. The problem is, we're not always given the space to express them. Society often doesn't allow us that vulnerability. We're often told to man up and push those feelings down, to bury them deep inside. But that only makes them fester and grow stronger. The more we suppress, the more they consume us. Society treats men differently than women, especially when it comes to emotional vulnerability. Women are often given the space to express. Women are encouraged to express their feelings, to seek support. Men? Not so much. We're expected to be the rock, the unyielding force. We're taught to be self-reliant, to solve our own problems, to be the fixers, the problem solvers. This can lead to a sense of isolation and loneliness, especially when we're going through tough times. The silence can be deafening. It can feel like we're carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders, with no one to turn to. The burden can be overwhelming. This pressure cooker environment can be especially intense for men in their 20s. A time when we're expected to build our futures. We're at a crossroads in life, navigating careers, relationships, and figuring out who we are. The stakes feel incredibly high. It's a time of immense change and uncertainty. Every decision feels monumental. And for many of us, it can feel like we're drowning under the weight of expectations. The pressure to succeed, to be perfect, can be suffocating. But there is hope. By acknowledging these pressures and seeking support, we can begin to lift the weight off our shoulders. Together, we can create a world where men are free to express their emotions, to seek help, and to be vulnerable without judgment. Because no one should have to carry the weight of the world alone. Where are all the good men? This question echoes through our society, resonating with many who feel the absence of strong, positive male figures. Another challenge facing young men today is the lack of positive male role models. In a world where traditional roles are constantly evolving, the need for guidance is more crucial than ever. Growing up, many of us didn't have strong, emotionally available men in our lives to show us the ropes. We missed out on those crucial lessons that shape our understanding of manhood. We didn't have someone to teach us how to be a good man, a good partner, a good father. These lessons are not just about skills, but about values, integrity, and emotional intelligence. This lack of guidance can be incredibly damaging. It leaves a void that many young men struggle to fill, often leading to feelings of inadequacy and confusion. It can lead to confusion about what it means to be a man in the first place. Without a clear example to follow, we are left to navigate this complex journey on our own. We're bombarded with conflicting messages from the media, from our peers, from society at large. These mixed signals can be overwhelming and disorienting. On one hand, we're told to be sensitive and compassionate. We're encouraged to express our emotions and be vulnerable. On the other hand, we're still expected to be tough and dominant. The pressure to conform to these traditional ideals of masculinity can be immense. It's a recipe for disaster. The conflicting expectations can create a sense of inner turmoil and frustration. Without positive role models to guide us, we're left to figure it out on our own. This often leads to a sense of isolation and loneliness. And all too often, we end up adopting unhealthy coping mechanisms. These can range from substance abuse to reckless behavior. We might turn to alcohol or drugs to numb the pain. These temporary escapes can quickly become destructive habits. we might engage in risky behavior to prove our masculinity. The need to feel strong and invincible can drive us to take dangerous risks. Or we might retreat into ourselves, isolating ourselves from the world. This withdrawal can lead to deeper issues of depression and anxiety, making it even harder to break the cycle. Love lost, identity shattered. I've experienced this firsthand. In my 20s, I went through a devastating breakup. It completely shattered my world. I thought this woman was the one. I had built my entire identity around our relationship. When it ended, I felt like I had lost a part of myself. I didn't know who I was anymore. I had no idea how to cope with the pain. I tried to distract myself with work, with hobbies, with other women, but nothing seemed to fill the void. The pain was always there, lurking beneath the surface. I felt lost and alone. I started having dark thoughts about ending it all. I couldn't see a way out of the darkness. It felt like I was trapped in a nightmare. A sea of silent suffering. Desperate for answers, I turned to the internet. I started searching for information about depression, about suicide, about anything that could explain what I was going through. What I found shocked me. I discovered that I wasn't alone. There were millions of men out there who were struggling just like me. Men who were hurting, who were lost, who were contemplating suicide. It was a sea of silent suffering. Reading their stories, I felt a strange mix of horror and relief. Horror at the thought of so many people in pain. Relief that I wasn't the only one. It was a wake-up call. I realized I needed to find a way to heal, to find a way to live again. At first, I tried to outrun the pain. I thought if I kept moving, it wouldn't catch up to me. I threw myself into my work, pulling long hours and chasing promotions. I believed that success would fill the void inside me. I went on retreats, hoping to find peace and clarity in exotic locations. I thought that maybe, just maybe, a change of environment would bring me the serenity I craved. I even considered moving to a new city, thinking a change of scenery might be the answer. I imagined that a fresh start could erase the past. But no matter how far I ran, the pain always followed. It was like an uninvited guest that refused to leave. It was like a shadow, always lurking just behind me. No matter how fast I ran or how far I went, it was always there. I was trying to outrun myself, and it was an impossible race to win. The more I tried, the more exhausted I became. The distractions provided temporary relief, but the moment I stopped, the emptiness rushed back in. It was like a tidal wave, overwhelming and relentless. I was left feeling even more lost and alone. The isolation was suffocating, and I felt like I was drowning in my own despair. It was then I realized that I couldn't just run from my problems. Running was only a temporary escape, not a solution. I needed to confront them head on. I had to face the pain, understand it, and find a way to heal. I needed to find a way to heal the pain that was eating me alive. Only then could I truly find peace and move forward with my life. This realization led me on a journey of self-discovery. I started reading books about spirituality, about philosophy, about the nature of consciousness. I began meditating, practicing yoga, and exploring different spiritual traditions. I was on a quest for answers, for meaning, for something to believe in. What I discovered surprised me. I found that true strength didn't come from suppressing my emotions, but from embracing them. I learned that vulnerability wasn't a weakness, but a strength. And I realized that true happiness didn't come from external achievements, but from inner peace. It wasn't a quick fix. It was a slow, gradual process of peeling back the layers of pain and conditioning. But slowly but surely, I started to heal. I started to feel a sense of peace and contentment that I had never experienced before. I'm sharing my story because I know there are others out there who are struggling. If you're feeling lost, alone, and hopeless, please know that you're not alone. There is help available. There is hope. As far as suicide is considered, I encourage every one of you who is struggling like me to maneuver the mind in a different trajectory. Contemplation process of suicide is very painful. I have personally tried it and will not recommend it to anyone. You are programmed for survival, and hence the chances are really high that you will fail miserably, and chances are quite high that you will be another suicide attempt case, which basically means someone who failed to kill themselves. What I discovered is spirituality. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. There is so much beauty and wonder in this world. There is so much to live for. Please reach out for help. Talk to a friend, a family member, a therapist, a hotline. There are people who care about you, who want to help. My journey led me to spirituality, and I believe it can offer solace and guidance to many. But it's not a magic pill. It's not something you do once and then you're fixed. It's a lifelong practice. Consistency is key. Just like you wouldn't expect to get in shape by going to the gym once a month, you can't expect to find lasting peace and happiness by engaging in spiritual practices sporadically. Find a practice that resonates with you and commit to it. Meditate daily, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Connect with nature. Practice gratitude. Cultivate compassion for yourself and others. The journey might not be easy, but it's worth it. There is light at the end of the tunnel. You are not alone.